to work alongside the Masterton population. Tim, did you want to talk about the two programs?
So I've written a spiel to keep me on track, to be fair. So some 8 years ago, Alzheimer's Waireka found ourselves in an uncommon position where, in a short succession of time, we had 8 referrals for people under 65, and they were all referred to us. So all eight people balked at the idea of joining a government-funded day activity. Largely, these services are provided in rest homes, and the people are expected to just join in with whatever the elderly residents are doing on the day. None of my population felt that they were ready to become part of the bingo, bowls and balloon tennis brigade, and all of them refused to try. Taking them to visit was a disaster, to say the least. It made them dig their heels in harder, and let's face it, who in their right mind, sound or not, would want to voluntarily spend days in a rest home with 80 and 90-year-olds when they're 50. So Out and About was born. And this group is for the young and the young at heart. The group has 3 main aims: retaining skills, social interaction, and keeping involved in the community. These people weren't asking for the world. They wanted to do normal, everyday things. They wanted to go to the beach, go on bushwalks, join community events, learn new things, get coffee, go to the movies, museums, garden tours. So if they're driving, they are expected to drive to the activity. It's another reason to get in the car and thus keep their licence for longer. At cafes, they purchase their own food and beverages using their own EFTPOS cards, maintaining the ability to remember their PIN number, make decisions. We know that one day the disease will win. One day the licence will be revoked. The PIN number will be forgotten. But the aim of this group is to stave off that day and have fun doing it. We've walked Donnelly's flat, been to the Golden Shares. We went to the Woolshed, the guys you just saw. We had trips to local beaches, joined the community, looking at the cruise cars, had line dancing lessons and discovered I was the most uncoordinated of the group. We walked vines, we've done the Kaitoki Gardens, Bell Engine, Woolshed Museum. We've sung with the Sparking Songsters, and just last week we got lost in the Millennium Reserve. Out and About inadvertently has become the stepping stone to our other group, Iona. Iona's a day activity with a difference. A slightly less high-octane version of Out and About, more tailored for people further along in their dementia journey. And it's just as much a service for the people who are caring for our population. This group is all about capitalising on our ability rather than focusing on what we can no longer do. We have a van and we like to be out in the community, but the main aim is to have fun, because if you're not enjoying yourself, then why go? And if these people don't go because it's not enjoyable, their carers don't get a break, and then they become at high risk of burning out. Iona helps people stay at home longer. I've never, in 20 years of nursing, heard anyone say, when I go into care, because nobody wants to. I have, however, met a lot of couples who have struggled on trying to keep someone in their own home to the health detriment of the carer. And then we end up with 2 broken people and not 1. There aren't enough rest home beds now. Baby boomers are starting to see their way through the health system, and that's further burdened an already struggling and inadequate scheme. Trailblazing day activity programs like Out and About in Iona help relieve the burden. They keep people in the community and in their own homes longer, and it's a win for all. It's a really hard pitch to make you all think about getting dementia. But lastly, I want you to consider, how would you rather spend the last leg of your journey? And I bet it's not bashing a balloon around a room with a rolled up newspaper.
Thank you. Yeah, does anyone have any questions?
Awkward.
Sometimes you answer the questions in what you say, and your presentation was a very, very, very effective one. So
Thank you.
So we'll be in touch with you in the next couple of weeks with the outcome of the application, and we'll see you later on.
You will, on a slightly different topic, but associated.
Thank you. Thank you for your time and thank you for your presentation. So now I'd like to welcome Heather Bannister. Just Heather, is it?
And unfortunately, due to her apology, the person who's supposed to replace her has turned up.
Francis.
So it's Francis.
Yeah, so welcome Francis from Come Sew With Me, Working Vintage Sewing Machine Museum. And I'll just go through the process, which you probably know, but I'll go through it anyway. So you have 10 minutes to speak, so 7 minutes for your presentation, and then 3 minutes for questions at the end if there are questions. A bell will ring after 7 minutes to let you know that your time's winding up. And just a reminder that the meeting's being live streamed on the Masterton District Council YouTube channel. That's all yours, Francis.
Without Heather, I don't think I'll go over the 10 minutes. I need Heather here to fill all the gaps. I'm Francis. I'm secretary on the committee for Come Sew With Me, which is a working museum, sewing machine museum, in the house in the park. It has the most amazing collection of machines if anyone's interested in sewing machines. Right from these modern machines, the electric machines, but there's also right back to treadle and hand crank machines, which are actually used by the sewers. Plus the display models, which are an incredible display of machines, old machines would be very valuable. Heather makes everyone very welcome when they come in there, and I did talk to some of the participants and said what would they like me to say about what they get out of the place, and a lot of them said a place to belong, as well as learning to sew. So and a lot of people there's a group of ladies from Idea Services who regularly use the place, and they are making, one of them was so proud of her beautiful stuffed elephant she'd made, and they make the most beautiful items with Heather's support. And they actually use the hand crank machines because it's a lot safer for them to use those machines, and they enjoy that. She's also had a lot of new immigrant families become involved, some men actually and some women, and they particularly like it because often they've used the very old machines in their previous country and so are familiar with them, and Heather's been able to supply them with gifting them a machine and some sewing fabrics. I know one lady wanted a lot of fabrics to make her daughter's dresses, and she was able to help her and supply that sort of stuff so they can get up and started at home as well as sewing in the house. It's totally reliant on donations. We have had one small fundraising activity at the markets, doing a Christmas stall, and looking at another fashion parade with items that the people have made themselves in conjunction with another organisation, just to try and do some fundraising. I'm trying to think what else I was going to. This is where I need Heather. I think mostly it's that place of belonging and welcoming. People get a morning tea there. Heather supplies them with the morning tea. So if you like scones and jam, go and see her. But she also does a hot soup in winter, so the participants who come get fed as well. And I think they enjoy that time sitting around the table together as well. And I've seen people go in there just to help out. one lady takes her knitting and goes in there and knits, but she also helps out with anything that anybody needs. So yeah, it's a place of belonging as much as the Working Sewing Machine Museum. It is very crowded, I admit that, but there are lots and lots of treasures in there. So, yep.
Francis, Bex.
Yes.
Thanks, Francis. It's a fabulous spot there and very welcoming to some members of the community.
Thank you.
Hey, just a question. One of your biggest expenses there is contractors. Do you know what that's for? It's last 2 years, like 12K last year and nearly 5,000 this year. I just wondered what that would, what work that would be
Probably for the sewing repair machines, repairs, any repairs or upgrades of machines.
Okay.
Heather was also taking a wage in the past, but she's actually not doing that now, just to funding-wise, really.
Okay. No,
And she had a cleaner she used to pay, a lady who used to come in and do dishes and do bits and pieces and was able to pay her, but that's, again, not happening at present.
okay. No, that answers that. Thank you.
Gary.
Thanks, Francis. I'm not going to mention the best scones in the Wairanga. It would be fair to say, wouldn't it, that Come Sail With Me's been something of a hub for the, if you like, the lonely and the disadvantaged people?
Sometimes, yes. It's a mixture, actually, because when I go in there, there's, for instance, a lady who goes in just to help. She's certainly not in that category. And she just enjoys helping out. And, yeah.
I didn't mean to say that it's sort of like a charity. I meant that particularly using the word lonely, there's a lot of people who have got no other place to go, and Come Sail With Me seems to fill that.
It certainly does that for a group of people, yeah. And for the new members of Masterton's community, come from other countries particularly, it's a place for them to make friends and get to know people. So I guess they're in a position of, they're not lonely so much, but they need to get to know people and get to know the community more. And that's, I think, that offers them that opportunity too. Yeah.
And Stella.
Thank you. I love the space, it's great. Just a question around fundraising yourselves. Do you, the items that are made, do they get sold? Is it like a shop sort of side to your group?
Not particularly, only time-wise, the time to do that, because it would rely on Heather doing a lot of that, and she's pretty full on when she's got people there. So I think time-wise would be the biggest issue. We do, like when we did the Christmas market, we took bags and things that they'd made at the house and took them down to sell Christmas stockings and things like that. So items for sale. That was the first time since I've been involved, that's been tried. Yeah.
About how many people would you make contact with?
I've got that here, 15 to 20 per day. We've been keeping a sort of tally, and average is 15 to 20. They're not all coming and staying. Some pop in and drop fabric off. Some pop in to get, I go there to get buttons for my knitting, actually, because it's a lot easier than the expensive buttons I have to buy. But yeah, so people pop in to get bits and pieces or to drop bits and pieces off. If Heather's got excess stuff, she has got excess stuff, but excess stuff often gets taken to other organisations that we use them, such as, I'll think of it in a minute, sorry, other organisations that are sewing anyway, and they will get excess stuff too.
How many days are you?
It's open 5 days. Friday is a quieter day. Heather tries to catch up on stuff on that day, but the rest of the days it's, Monday to Friday. And one Saturday a month they do crafternoon sewing.
From what time to what time?
About 10 till, she's open till after 4. Yeah, 10 to, but before 10. The ladies are waiting before 10, I can tell you that. Yeah.
So, Sorry, Madeline. So what would, if I was to walk in right now, what would I see?
Sorry?
If I was to walk in there right now, what would I most likely see?
You would be confronted with thousands of sewing machines and lots of fabrics. You would see a table set out with morning tea. If they had morning tea, it's still there for anybody. If visitors come in, Heather might offer them a coffee or tea. See a group of ladies sitting, a couple at the hand crank machines. There's actually 3 ladies who come together, and they're often together, but they'll be showing off what they've made or in the process of making something, and Heather might be helping them. You see an ironing board up for ironing for patchwork, a lady maybe sitting knitting. It's quite busy.
Any more questions, anyone? No, thank you for your presentation, Francis.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch with you in the next couple of weeks.
Sorry I didn't have Heather here, but
That's fine, you did really well.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
He's coming downstairs.
This is still morning, isn't it? Hi, apologies. I've just driven from a client in Martinborough, so we do a fair bit of driving around.
All over the rohi.
What would you like to know about us?
I'll just go for the process. So it's Luke and
Manani.
Manani, yeah.
So you have 10 minutes to present. So it's 7 minutes to speak and then 3 minutes for questions. Or it could be 8 minutes to speak and 2 minutes for questions. And just a reminder that the meeting's being live streamed on the Masterton District Council YouTube channel, and also that a bell will ring after 7 minutes, just to give you a heads up that time's coming up. So thank you both for coming in, and the floor is yours.
Cool, okay. Thank you for letting us talk, councillors. The 2 of us are Youth Line in the Wairarapa, so we're a 2-person team, and we obviously cover the whole Wairarapa from Ekatona to Pirinoa, and we work in schools and we also meet clients outside of schools. Our age range is, you'd say
8 to 24.
8 to 24. We work with rangatahi who are struggling with the school environment, home environment, or a mixture of both. We get referred rangatahi through teachers, social workers, other youth services, police, counsellors, CAMS, and we do what's called mentoring, which is not intensive psychological, clinical counselling or therapy. It's a lot like what we call youth coaching, peer support. We get alongside them, and then often when they're ready we can refer them on to professionals outside of our skill set. We do small group programs in schools where we get referred, say for example 10 up to 10 young people at a time, where they have low social confidence or anxieties around settling into college, and we go through some tools and allow them to explore different ways to resolve conflict within friendships and explore healthy relationships. So that's the gist of youth work. We go to where the need is, which is often South Wairarapa with the car that we have, so we make good use of that.
And we combined both a holistic te ao Māori and based on tiriti and approach, as well as the normal Western approaches as well through our mahi, through our mentoring. We also apply that within the groups that we're hoping to create as well.
So with the Masterton focus, we have our mentoring room, our office at the community centre, so we have clients that prefer to meet with us there, and we've got quite a few there that are starting to prefer to see us at that space, and so we're making quite a lot of use of our little
office space.
Yeah, our
space.
Where young people can come and meet with us, and we've got puzzles and games and sort of the kind of creative art therapy approach to get them to feel safe and talk to us. So very, very appreciative of our little space at the community centre. It's a good place to collaborate with other counsellors and professionals, other organisations we can refer them on to, like Community Connections, help get them to an employment once they're confident enough and showing a track record of volunteering in the community. So we take great pride in seeing them find their place in the community. And the community centre is a good centrally located, well-connected place for us to be. So we'd definitely like to keep on.
Continue. Yeah. And we've made a lot of improvement in that space since becoming a two-man team. Luke was on his own before that, so it had been quite difficult for him. However, with me on board now that we have a two-man team, we are looking at obviously wanting to expand our abilities in the sense of running a bit more groups in schools, offering that kaupapa with respecting relationships, online safety, all those kind of things that we offer within our mentoring as well.
Yeah, so youth work is often a bit of churn. I've had the privilege of training up youth work that have come into the space, worked with them for a while, and they've moved into other areas or they've left the region. And so with Manini and her skill set, her background, we're very much te tiriti based, and that we can have a really good
more collaborative
approach.
Infused program, I would say. And we are collaborating with a lot of other organisations through different things like Te Haura and Rangitane, CAMS, and really making a stand within that community within our organisation as well.
One final thing we're quite excited to share is that we're leading a disclosures training workshop for other youth workers. We're quite passionate about. There's a collective, I think it's called the Wairarapa Kaimahi Youth Workers Collective, that is led by one of the youth council reps, Alex Tahi-Lemstead in South Wai, and it's really important to get other youth workers so that we're supporting each other, upskilling, making sure our practice is really good. And so we're facilitating a workshop for next term on disclosures and best practice in managing disclosures from young people. Often it's the youth worker in the school environment that the young person first discloses concerns, harmful behaviours at home or in the school environment or outside the school, and so they'll come to us first, and then we're able to link in others as appropriate. So making sure that we're able to offer our experience and our training to other youth workers is something we'd really like to grow as well. So that's us. 5 minutes or so. So we'd love to hear some questions.
Thanks, Lou. Can you tell me what schools you're working with in Masterton, please?
In Masterton, what time period?
Oh, just last 12 months, I guess?
Yeah, last 12 months. Makota, she did a program in Chanel on online safety. That was last term.
Fernridge. Just done an art program there, after school art, through Māori art.
We had a youth expo at Waikol recently. I think it was last term. Dakota, Waikol, Fernridge.
And my hope is to get into MIS. We're just working on that at the moment. And Lakeview.
Lakeview last year, that's right. And what else was there? There's quite a few. My mind's going blank.
That'll do. That's cool.
There's a range. We get around.
Stella?
Cool, thank you. So just in regards to the centre you had here directly
Yeah.
in Masterton, the community centre, how many rangatahi are coming through your doors sort of, you could go annual, but like on a weekly basis that are Masterton
Interesting, yeah.
members?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've only been with Youthline Wairarapa for 3 months. I've already picked up, with the help of CAMS, my own self, we're coming up to 5 rangatahi
About 5 a week averaging.
that are coming in
Yeah,
now.
that's outside of the ones that we go to see, yeah.
And now that we have created that base there with a 2-man team, they have that access to come in more. I'm not sure how well it was used beforehand, before I was there, but we use it quite a lot and have, roughly at least 5 rangatahi within the week.
Yeah,
come in.
that's set to grow. We've just agreed with CAMS to take on what's called their step down or transition clients. So those that have finished the kind of clinical setting work with the psychologists, and they step down once they've finished that program of work, whether it's cognitive behavioural therapy, and then they move into like a mentoring community space where we keep tabs on them. And so
kind of like a wraparound. Like we'll be their wraparound support at the end of their clinical support.
Yeah.
We obviously don't do clinical, but we do the holistic after approach. That just helps them guide through.
Yeah, so we've got a few of those coming from CAMS and coming over to see us. So
Great.
Cool, thank you.
So when you go to the schools, are you dealing with individuals one-on-one, or are you talking to like a year group or something like that?
So we best work with up to 10 to 12 maximum, what's called co-facilitating. So there's 2 of us, and we'll get about 10, and that can be within a year group. Typically year 9 and 10, we try and get as young as possible, or year 7 and 8, intermediate age, or the first year of college. So
It does vary though.
Yeah.
We do, we have a two young rangatahi team at the moment that we take care of, but it can alter. So if we do get a bigger group that we need to do the online safety things and certain programs that we can run, we can have that 15 to 12 group.
Yeah.
However, we can do smaller, more intimate options for some of the rangatahi as well, or one-on-one.
And that group's identified by the school?
Yes.
Typically, yes.
Yeah. So if the school's running a wellbeing week, we recently helped collab with Reap Wairarapa on a wellbeing themed series of workshops. That was at Chanel, and there's another school, I think it was school, and we started with the group, and then we often get referred some one-to-one after the group program's finished. So it's quite good for us to maximise our limited impact by speaking to a group and then picking up the ones that are needing that one-on-one attention afterwards. But often, it starts off with the group, they get to know us, and then pick up some that need individual mentoring. Yeah.
Are you guys employed full-time?
We're both part-time, we work school hours. Yeah, so, we've both got our own families and kids that our first job, this is our second job, so we work school hours, so we're part-time.
Yeah, 20 hours a week.
And you're sort of like a first-stop shop, if you like, for these people, and then once you've talked to them, you refer them on to professional services.
Always.
If need be,
Yeah, if need be, yeah. Often is the case.
Typically we try, because we don't deal with crisis, we typically will, if they come in a crisis, we have to give them to somebody like CAMS and that do have those.
Or rangatamariki as well.
Rangatamariki.
Yeah, so we're required to make those sort of reports of concerns and move things on. Yeah.
We'll just go one more from Manama. Thank you, Manama.
Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Thank you for coming in and presenting. Youthline would suggest people telephone you to, how many people would you have contact with a week?
We don't do the telephone. We don't, so Auckland is the main base of Youthline for the phone services. We do have a smaller service in our head office in Palmerston North with only, I think it's 7 volunteers, roughly. Yeah. They handle all the call centre. Our job is purely mentoring, kanohi to kanohi. With our rangatahi, we don't do any of the online phone services.
So do they contact you if there's anyone from the Wairarapa?
Unfortunately, no, they're not able to do that.
They're not allowed. It's confidentiality.
Yeah, so the phone service is separate from what we do. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But we do obviously put ourselves out there, so if the whānau do find us, then or they can come refer to us through there.
Yeah.
You spoke about training. What sort of training do you do?
Training for other
For
youth
yourself,
workers.
I thought.
Oh, for ourselves?
Yeah.
Yeah, we attend fairly regularly every school holidays and the downtime. We have team training days with our wider team for the Central North Island, based in Palmy. We do team training days.
As well as the Mahi Coyote.
Yeah, and there's other workshops where sometimes training youth worker facilitators will come into the region from Aratohi, which is based in Wellington, and they're the kind of peak body for youth development, and they'll often travel around and offer professional development for youth workers, so we attend those as well. Yeah.
Thank you, Luke and Manini. So we'll be in touch with you in the next 2 weeks, just with the results of your application. So thank you for your time and thank you for your presentation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
for
for the
seeing us.
invitation. Yes.
Have a great day.
You too. And we'll now welcome back Alicia and James as well from the Alzheimer's Wairarapa Incorporated. So for James's benefit, we'll go through the process. Yes. So the way it works is that it's 10 minutes to present, and that's 7 minutes for a presentation and 3 minutes for questions at the end. And just a reminder that the meeting's live streamed on the Masterton District Council YouTube channel, and a bell will go after about 7 minutes. So the floor is all yours.
Thank you. I've just got a flyer to hand out first that we will talk to. I'm sure many of you may have seen this around Masterton. There's the Masterton area. Oh, great, thank you.
Thanks, Corin.
So earlier Tam talked about what we do, which is, our 2-day activity programs for our dementia clients, and this is how we get to do it, one of the ways we get to do it. So this is an annual fundraiser, and we are into our 3rd year, and we work in association with Lug, the Lego people. And last year we held this at the Solway Showgrounds. We had about 1,600 people attend. And this year we're holding it at Waikol, and we're hoping, because we're increasing our media presence and using someone who's very savvy in that space, we're hoping to double our numbers. So James is going to talk a little bit about what it involves and how the local community is also involved in this event.
Yeah, thank you. I'm relatively new to the Alzheimer's board, it was last year, and actually the first thing I was involved in last year was the Bricks and Wheels show. Last year it was actually called the Fun Day Out, and that was a real eye-opener for me when we say Fun Day Out, that we had, like Alicia said, 1,600 people coming along, and I was sitting at the door, and you'd see these kids come in and Lego for as far as their eyes could see, and their eyes would pop out of their head. And then the parents would come in, and they were exactly the same. This is an event for not just young kids, it's for whole families, and it is a great day out. We had to change the name to make it a bit more intuitive as to what we're providing there. So on the day there's obviously lots of Lego displays. We're getting, I think, about 50 people to come in and display their own Lego sets. It's not like the things you see on Lego Masters or at the Lego displays in Wellington. These are Lego geeks, I guess, and they bring their own collections and show off, what they've collected over the years. It's absolutely amazing, and I'd definitely recommend getting along. And that's just only part of it. There's lots of trucks come along. Last year we had monster trucks, we had dune buggies, we had hot rods and all classic cars as well. Plus food trucks and the fire and emergency people there as well. It's a really good day out. There is a serious side to it though, obviously, is spreading the awareness of what we do and the services that we provide that Tam and Alicia would have talked to you about earlier. And that's the other part of the show, is really just getting our name out there and letting people know that we are there and we are providing these services. You got?
No, I think that's all.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, no, I just had
Thank
a
you,
question,
guys.
but if you haven't finished.
Oh, no, I can, yep.
Go for it.
Oh,
Go for it.
what would you have raised from it last year?
It's about $10,000
Okay.
after costs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, good, thank you.
That's, we need $100,000 a year to run our operation in the Masterton area, just for the current numbers of clients that we're servicing. So that's 10% of our income, essentially.
Great, Marama.
And I'm sorry, I should have asked this before, but how many current clients would you have?
About 120, yeah. But on top of that, also there is their extended families and their carers in their whānau that are, I guess, involved with these clients, and TAM provides a lot of support to the carers to help manage their family member at home.
Any more questions? No, I'm sure you'll see a lot of us there.
I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, thank you both for your
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you for both presentations, and we'll be in touch with you in the next couple of weeks with the outcome of your application.
Great, thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Cheers.
So now I'd like to welcome Trish Stevens and Philip Morrison from Golden Shears International Shearing Championship Society.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you for giving us this opportunity.
I'll just share the process with you. You might have heard it, but I'll go through it one more time.
Yes.
So it's 10 minutes to speak, so that's 7 minutes to speak and then 3 minutes of questions after that. And the meeting's being live streamed on the Masterton District Council YouTube channel, and you'll hear a bell from Harriet after about 7 minutes, just to let you know that it's question time. So the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Ray. I'm the president of Golden Shears. Philip is a past president, a life member, does our sponsorship, and is a member of the World Council. As most of you will know, that we are holding the World Championships in conjunction with Golden Shears next year. It's an extra day, starting on the 4th of March through to the 7th of March. We've so far had 8 registrations from international teams. Invites went out to 31 countries. We have got the open grade is already full. Many entries from the international competitors already. The senior sharing is also closed. To accommodate our competition, we've got a marquee over in the green space so that we can have extra competitions and entertainment, few school activities over there as well. Most of our competitors and judges will be accommodated at Copthorne Hotel. We are expecting a lot of them to arrive on the Tuesday, so it's a huge thing for our district. So we're looking forward to hosting our world competitors. It's we may not see it again, and I don't know, within 15, 20 years in New Zealand. It goes Southern Hemisphere and Northern Hemisphere. The last time Masterton hosted it was 2012. It did go to Invercargill in 2017, so so we're really looking forward to it. Phil?
Being a World Championship, of course, huge interest. It's unprecedented in my experience of World Championships going back to 2005, just with the interest from particularly entries and ticket sales. Now, from the world, those countries that come, I think in 2012 we had 26 or 8 countries. We would expect about 100 competitors and 3 in the shearing, blade shearing and wool handling. Also on top of that, we would have about probably 20 judges that come from what we call World Council membership of the 14 countries of that, plus World Council members themselves. So we're expecting to have to accommodate 140 to 150 people, which is over and above sort of what we normally accommodate at any ordinary Golden Shears. Now, they do come earlier. The judges have a workshop on the Tuesday. This is trying to just align judges from member countries to our standards. Not an easy task, but we can only do our best. But it is just trying to encourage the whole industry, whether it's competitors or judges, to lift their standards. Now, obviously, such a huge task, the costs are probably triple to what we normally have in an ordinary Golden Shears. And just the marquee alone, along with accommodation and security, probably $250,000. Security has become a huge task, if you like, because of our obtaining licences for both the stadium and the marquee, and it's probably it'll be between 50 and 60,000 just for security. Horrendous. It's something we have to live with, I think, in the future. Even just it goes beyond what we may have ever thought you'd need for even ordinary competitions. So that, in a nutshell, is why we would like council support, and ready to ask any questions.
Does anyone have any questions? Bex?
Yeah, hi. Hi. Just a question. You mentioned about the number of competitors, the number of countries, and it's a bigger event, obviously, which is really exciting. So what sort of number of people do you expect that it will attract over the duration of the event?
In the last 2 years, 24 and 25, with the three disciplines of shearing, wool handling and wool pressing, we have had over 580 individual entries. So someone could come along and enter all three. So we will achieve that again easily with a number of open competitors. We'll probably take in 120 of those, and we've been down at times around the 90. So
I'm more talking about, they bring family, they bring friends. And
it's a little bit hard to estimate, but most of the season passes we've sold, and that's 300 at the moment, we're sort of capped at. Probably well over half of those are overseas people.
Yeah, so I mean, we're thousands of people over the event?
Oh, we would be expecting 5,000 to 6,000.
Yeah, that's kind of where I wanted to go.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because when you just talk competitors, it doesn't give you the idea of family. The stadium being full and people coming to watch. And
it's a good question though, Bex, because this year for the first time we are hoping with our ticketing and all the barcoding that goes with it, and people will be scanned in and out of the stadium, that we know exactly how many people we do get. Once again, we're coming back to fire restrictions for the number in the stadium, because we've never known. Normally, someone who enters our competition has free entry to the stadium for all 3 days. That's changed a little bit this year. They will get free entry to the marquee as competitors, but on the Friday night, Saturday night, they have to buy an extra ticket, our competitors, if they want to go to that. But it's really all about fire regulations and stadium capacity. But we will finish up with a proper number of who comes to the Shears.
Which will be helpful for the future as well.
We estimate like the minimum of 5,000 and maybe the max to 7.5, 8. The families that come from overseas, some of them bring their partners and families and stay a bit longer, pre and after. Quite a few just come with their teams.
Because obviously the economic benefit is not just the people competing.
No, absolutely. We'd sold out this year, Friday and Saturday night, and that was without the World Golden Shears. So if we work on that, we've got a huge expectation. Well, I think we can sort of acknowledge that we will have a record number here this year. There's no accommodation available at the moment. Bed and breakfasts are advertising, or we've had contact from farmers to say that they've got accommodation should we need it, or that we can refer people on to. So it's huge at this.
Thank you.
Already.
Gary?
Yeah, I'll probably just following up from what Bex said. One of the things that strikes me is the flow-on effects from this, rather than just the actual event. You will have, I take it, a number of if you like, outside events, like last time you had a shop window display, that sort of stuff is going on again.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
definitely. And we hope to have that village atmosphere around with the marquee and the stadium, so. Yep.
Right, any more questions?
And we're streamed worldwide, live streamed, so we'll be on the worldwide map.
Right, Trish and Philip, thank you for your presentation. So we'll be back in touch with you within the next 2 weeks with the result of your application. And thank you again for your time. It's really
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Carol's just arrived, so that will come out.
Finding that big sheet handy, Bex?
Morning.
Morning.
Oh.
Right, Carol.
Morning.
Welcome to our Awards and Grants meeting, and I'll just go through the process. So it's a 10-minute presentation from you, 7 minutes to present and 3 minutes for questions, but you can go over or under that, but just within that 10 minutes. And the meeting's been live streamed on the Masterton District Council website, and you'll hear a bell from Harriet after 7 minutes, just to give you a heads up that your time's coming to an end. So the floor is all yours.
Fine. I just wonder, can I reiterate what I've put in the application?
Yep.
Okay. Just get my notes. So basically, I'm the treasurer of the Masterton Ranfurly Club, which is the club that's been going strong in Masterton for 125 years, founded for the benefit of women in the community. In the early days for the community of the farming population, where the women used to come into town and have a place to rest and have a cup of tea and powder their nose, and while their husbands were in the Masterton Club. So what's happened over the years, it's been a strong club, and why we're requesting this grant is to try to keep this club alive. We feel it's got a place in the community for mainly older women, women who have given to the community. They've been volunteers, they are Mastertonians, and they enjoy, and some of the older ones in the lunchtime group enjoy their monthly lunch, which is provided at our own club rooms from the Masterton Club, and the camaraderie that goes on between, I've noticed more with these women, the ones that are probably in their mid-80s to mid-90s, is amazing. They've been friends for a long time. Now, one of the problems is we have our own building, which is, it's a good building, it's old, but it's been kept in good repair, and we've had good money to do that in the past. But things have changed in the last 3 years. First of all, during COVID, there were no meetings and we couldn't rent the premises out, so there was actually no money coming in. We still had to pay our rates and insurance and all the utility accounts that came to us. Then
after that, everything went up in price as well. So, not last year, but the year before that, we were really struggling. And the money that we had to pay those bills came from our own members. So we haven't really had, until this year, any outside money. We put the subs up, we put the meals up, so that we made a little bit on that. We have one big fundraising event every year. And we show movies, we have mahjong, we had bridge, we haven't got that at the moment. But all of that money is generated from our own members. And we just feel now that we've got about $8,000 in the Building Society. We don't want to use that. It's for an older building. If something happens to the roof or if it needed painting, that wouldn't even cover that. So we want to have some help with paying for keeping the premises up to date and well preserved. And we've got a couple of fences that are falling down or being held up by ivy. We would like to get rid of those, just to help us cover our costs really without going for a handout from our members at this stage. And our members are very supportive. They've never turned around and said, no, we don't want to do that. They love the club. And we have, I think, 45 lunch group members who are the older group, don't like going out at night, so they go for lunch. And then all the younger ones, and there wouldn't be anyone under 75, but we're the girls, the younger ones. That's on once a month on a Thursday night. And it's the same, a very convivial type of meeting. I think Gary's spoken there, and perhaps you could comment on that. You don't have to comment to me, but nod your head. And it's great. They love it. We don't want it to disappear, especially with the history it has. Thank you.
Thank you. Craig?
Thanks for that, giving us an update on that. So you've got 45 that come for the lunch. How many in the girls group?
50.
Okay, so over 100, yeah.
Yeah, certainly. Well, just on 100, really. Yeah.
Thank you.
Stella?
Hi, Carol. Nice to see you. How do you get out to the community to encourage new members of the younger girls age bracket?
We're always trying to get new members, and we reinforce that at our meetings. Bring your friend along, and we've actually picked up 2 or 3 members just in the last few months, actually. So we wouldn't advertise it as such. But then a mahjong group that we have is from Probus, and they sort of get a few people in and encourage people to come. Yes.
Thank you.
Bex?
Hi, Carol.
Hi, Bex.
Just a couple of questions. What's your main fundraising event of the year?
Well,
or does it change?
Yeah, this year it does change, but this year we had a fashion parade, and Helen Southey ran that, and I think we raised about $2,000 for that. And I didn't mention to you that this year also we have had a grant from the Masterton Community Trust of $2,500 towards the housekeepers' wages. We have a lady that cleans the building and is there on the function evenings and daytime. And we had a lady who'd been there for 9 years, and we were paying her a very minimum amount. So when we got a new lady, we had to front up with a reasonable sort of a wage.
Thanks, Carol. My other question was, you mentioned about the fence. Have you had an approximate quote or a cost for that?
We have had a quote for it, but it was 2 or 3 years ago, and we couldn't afford to.
Oh, okay.
So it's the Baptist Church would be sharing the cost of that. It's between them and us. So
do you remember what the cost was?
I think it was about $3,500 from memory.
Okay.
And I can't remember whether that was the whole cost or whether that would be just our share.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any more questions, anyone? Gary?
Carol, you own your own building, eh?
Yes, I know.
So when you say you're needing increased operating expenses, is that administrative stuff we're talking about mainly?
No. Utility. So for our rates, power,
Okay.
telephone.
Yeah.
Insurance, see, insurance is a big one, that's gone up, just about doubled. So, no, just to, and even though we're managing, we need a buffer, really. We just need a bit of confirmation that we're going to keep going.
Because I noticed your subscription, what you gain from there would be just keeping things going rather than something.
Yes.
Any more questions, anybody? Carol, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your presentation. So we'll be back in touch with you within the next 2 weeks with the outcome of the application.
Okay.
So
Thank you very much for accepting our application.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carol.
Thanks, Carol.
The claps are on people like me.
We're all the same boat.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sandy, we'll just wait for Corin to come back in, but you can grab a seat.
It's not even meant to be me, so I apologise. Hi, Gary.
Excuse me. Is it just you on your own, Sandy?
Yeah, well, it's not meant to be, but it appears to be. I'm not even meant to be here, but that's okay. Last minute call.
Your name's on the flyer.
Is it? Yeah, I did the application, yeah. But I haven't done a presentation, and apparently they have, but I'm winging it. You can ask me lots of questions. I've just come out of lots of meetings with government officials and my head's whirling.
Today?
Just now, yeah. Government's just announced significant changes to the disability support, so.
Harry, can we get started with our Corin? We'll get started, Sandy. So Sandy, I'll go through the process. So it's 10 minutes to present, and it's 7 minutes for your presentation, and then 3 minutes for questions, but it can be, it balances just to suit yourself. And the meeting's being live streamed on the Masterton District Council YouTube channel, and you'll hear a bell after 7 minutes, just to let you know the 7 minutes is up. Okay, so the floor is yours, Sandy. Go.
Thanks, Tim. Like I said, I haven't brought a presentation because I didn't actually anticipate being here, but I did write the application, obviously. One of the things, well, firstly, I've come off a meeting where People First itself is facing a $175,000 deficit this year, which we've never faced before, but that's indicative of the fact that funders are overwhelmed with applications across the country, and we haven't had an increase in our main contract. I think one of the things that's really going to impact on people with learning disabilities, we say learning, a lot of people say intellectual, but we say learning, it's more respectful, that's going to impact on the local community here is that I was successful this year, end of last year, in securing a $3 million contract where people with disabilities will be employed by us at a very
good wage, like above $30 an hour, to go in and interview people living in residential services to ensure that they're safe and having a good life. And the Wairarapa was a particular focus for me because I know the situation here, which needs improving dramatically. I mean, we have people living here who have lived in faith-based and, you know, Crown institutions where they were seriously abused. And so all that redress stuff brought about this contract. And so I'm really keen to see that this local group is strong because we will be recruiting from there to have this paid work. Now that work will take people off benefits. It will be a dramatic change in their lives. But there's a process, of course, for, you know, getting them trained and ready to be recruited and then to be supported to do the job and then to have all those things in place like safeguarding that you must have because people will be re-traumatised. It's not a big group here, and part of that's been the constant turnover of the staff here, but there is big potential. But it's about getting the operational costs to keep that group going because if each group is not reasonably financial, there's only so much limit that our national committees can support them to stay functional. And here we've been declined COGS. Trustlands Trust gave us a grant, but of course it's educational focus. But we will be using that very wisely to get people ready to be employable. So big potential here, huge potential here. I mean, the contract we've got is national, so we're doing it everywhere, but I was particularly focused when this opportunity, this RFP came up. It was on the forefront of my mind, the situation in the Wairarapa, which has never been good. And I want to see dramatic change, and I'm going to make sure that happens. But we've got to have the group and we've got to have the people.
Thank you, Sandy. Vix.
Hi, Sandy.
Hello.
Can you just tell me about your current work here?
So I actually don't work locally. I mean, I live here, obviously, but I hold a national role, so I'm the 2IC of the organisation, and my focus is the funding and all the projects. And the projects are all government consultations, so I do a lot of government consultations. I stepped in today because there's an environmental thing going on that he's involved in, and he got Christine Cameron organised to come, but maybe when she discovered he wasn't coming, she wasn't. She has been, now that's somebody who has absolutely blossomed through People First. I mean, I'm sure some of you know Christine, you see her around town a lot. She was a very shy person, but with 7 years of being involved with us, I recently used her, which I said in the proposal, to undertake interviews of people in very high-level roles that we were recruiting across New Zealand, and she just shone. I mean, and she said to me later, I would never have had the confidence to do this if I hadn't been part of People First, and you'd done, you know, we do a lot of advocacy, self-advocacy, speaking up, training. It's a big focus. And that just for me, I thought that's why I love the job. You know, we make a difference. I suspect she's not here because she's probably worried that she's going to be here on her own. But she does participate in your disability advisory group. You know, she's a shining example of someone who's absolutely flourished under being given opportunity. And she is someone I will be hoping who will put herself forward for the paid work because she's very competent.
Gary?
Good, Sandy. Sandy, does money flow down to the local group from your national organisation?
So we're a national organisation. We actually, apart from the big contract I just got, the people for us, the $3 million to go into residential services, the only other actual fixed contract we had is a DIAS contract, was a Disability Information Advisory Service contract, which is only $300,000. And we get that because the government didn't have any other way to fund us. Because we're an absolute resource to government. I mean, we are on the DPO, which is the group of disability organisations that are directly work with government around policy and services, etc. So in terms of government funding, apart from the new contract, which doesn't offset any expenses for People First because there's a contract and you've got to deliver it for services, we only have the DIAS for 343, I think it is. So hugely dependent on philanthropy, and we don't do any fundraising because we don't have capacity to do it. You know.
Any more questions there? Oh, sorry,
Sandy. Hey, I seen the application that talked about having 45 paid staff. Is that
nationally? Yeah. There's not a lot.
And that, to be fair, is going to increase significantly under the People for Us contract because I think just in that contract alone we were looking... Well, I mean, I did the proposal, but the person we employed is changing it a bit. He's worked in government for 35 years. He's changing it a bit, but I think we're still going to be looking at about an extra 40 people, but they are simply going to be undertaking that contract. Yeah. But yeah, no, we're not huge. We all have massive workloads, believe me. And most of us, I mean, I don't want to be full-time. I'm 30 hours with a full-time job, obviously. We're nearly all part-time. Yeah. But it is the the industry. It's just New Zealand. There's just not enough money, is there?
This contract, kia ora.
Kia ora.
Thank you. This contract that you have, that you brought into the Waipiapa, it's getting people first into residential homes.
Yeah, yeah.
Will you have any influence over how the clients in the homes are treated?
Absolutely, that's the point of it. So our role is that people with disabilities, and why we're an organisation that works with people with learning disabilities, the government actually contracted us to work across all disabilities because the numbers of other disabilities is not large enough to have it. So we actually went outside our constitution slightly and we have the contract for all disabilities. So we'll be employing a person with a disability and we will try and match that person to the person who's being visited. They will have an assistant with them who will take the notes and, keep things safe. And they will be determining from that person, are you getting... are you having a good life? So do you feel safe? Are you receiving services? Do you have a plan if you want to learn, to improve your literacy or work towards employment or whatever? Is that service provider you've got, residential provider, are they supporting you to do that? And then if it's no, we need to initially ourselves try and address that. If it's a bigger issue, and usually it will be, then we have an organisation, several organisations that we then raise that to as a we up-level it as a complaint that they then come in and work with the providers to improve the service. One of them is, it's going to go over my head, Tuora Whaiora?
Tuora.
Yeah. Now that's actually a trust that's been set up, and the main person actually lives here in Masterton as well, Gordon Boxall. And then there's Lorna Sullivan, who's in the Te Puke area. So they're a group of internationally known specialists who will be going in and addressing that poor service and getting it sorted. So, yeah, it's a massive change. Yeah.
There's a lot of work that needs to be done.
There's a hell of a lot of work that needs to be done. But we're going to do it. We do have there is three contracted agencies. We have the national, and then there's two that are based South Auckland and Northern Waikato, and their support, and one of them actually, Whakatau Tua, is a Pacific Island national disability organisation, but they only got that small region, but MSD are working with them to build their capacity, so yeah, we're very excited to be working with them. One's an iwi organisation and one's the Pacific Island organisation.
Any more questions, anyone? Thank you so much, Sandy. So
no, thank you.
We'll get back in touch with you in the next couple of weeks, okay? Thanks for your time and invitation as well. Right, if I can welcome Alan and Dorothy Boone for the Rotary Club of Masterton South. Just go through the process for both of you. Thanks, Cora. Thank you. So it's a 10-minute presentation, so it's 7 minutes to present and then 3 minutes for questions after that. And just a reminder, the meeting's being live streamed on the Masterton District Council YouTube channel, and that Harriet will ring a bell after 7 minutes, just to give you a heads up that your time's coming to an end. Okay. So the floor is all yours, and welcome.
Okay, appreciate that. I'd like to apologise on behalf of Warwick Dean, who was to be here but couldn't make it. Just in a foreword to this presentation, I just wanted to highlight some of the many projects Masterton South Rotary has established, organised, funded in the Masterton community, and that's some of the list that we've provided here for you today. but there are 3 projects in there that I'd like to focus upon. And they are the Rotary Phone Medical Alert Bracelet, the Rotary Sunday Market, and the Rotary Mini Golf. I could actually put down the Rotary Masterton Christmas Fair of last year, but that's the recent one. That's the one we're going to talk about today. But what I want to go back is just a little bit of history. These 3 projects are examples of what Rotary established, that's our local Rotary Club, run by volunteers in generating surpluses to finance further community projects. So it's not like it's a donation to put into something particularly. This is a donation to go into a business that produces a surplus that can be used to support community projects. You might see in some of those projects, the recent one in terms of support was 30,000 for the free ambulance. Anyway, the Medical Alert Bracelet project was very, very successful, but the government changed some of the regulations concerning those sorts of organisations. And this was just prior to Wellington Free Ambulance coming up to Masterton. And we knew that we couldn't, wasn't so much compete with it, but we didn't have the infrastructure to be sort of partially national, and that was what would have to happen. So we negotiated with the Wellington Free Ambulance, and they bought the program from us, which we had established. And so we did have several years of good surpluses coming from that, and then we got a bonus at the end, which was the capital costs that we sold it for. Now the Rotary Mini Golf and the Sunday Market, they still continue, and they're ongoing, and they produce a significant surplus, each of those every year. So these projects are structured as mini businesses that provide the ongoing community income. Now the Rotary Christmas Fair, it's a significant community wellbeing contribution. Now we estimate that we will have 850 plus volunteer hours, and even at a sort of minimum cost, that will work out to be about $30,000, would be equivalent if we had to pay for those people. On top of that, the fixed costs are the things like the road management, the portaloos, the websites, the waste disposal, the advertising, all of those other things, and they are the real costs that we've got. So effectively, the problem is this, is without volunteers, the fair is not financially viable. In fact, you could imagine that a community enterprise could not do it because the cost of just the labour alone would exceed the income that's coming through on what we're forecasting for this coming year. So our vision is to grow the Christmas Fair and to match the success of the Martinborough Fair, which was established by our neighbouring Rotary Club. It's quite interesting looking at that, is that we are looking this year at stalls of 205. The Martinborough Fair is currently at 440, I think. They produce incomes they produce surpluses around about $100,000 for their community, and it's in a much smaller community to ours. And I was quite interested to read in the paper about a comment from one of the councillors in South Wairarapa who was taken to task for conflict of interest, and he was a chef, and he was, I think, a mainstay of some sort of organisation there. And it's, from what I read, that his organisation was expecting something like 37,000 from the South Wairarapa Council. Now, we're not looking at that. We know that there is a limit to how much we want, but we really need a decent sort of fund to it. And the thing is that we're not really asking, as I said before, for a donation. We're really asking for an investment. It's a proven project. We've run it for a year. It was very successful last year. We surveyed people, I think, 3 or 4 times to find out, and we will be able to improve it better this time. It's run by the Masterton South Rotary Club, so it's completely all of the people, other than the road management and some of the other services, all provided by our volunteers and others within the community that we have done. We're an active organisation. We've got a proven track record of creating enduring community returns, and those were the 3 ones I mentioned before. So that's what I hope that you will look at that from a long-term point of view. I imagine in a much, perhaps in another few years, the likelihood will happen is that we will join with other Rotary clubs in the Wairarapa area and get, we will support, people from Masterton South Rotary will support our colleagues in Martinborough and in Carterton, and they'll in turn support us. And so it'll give us the infrastructure we can save on, particularly some of the electronic stuff, because we've got these website-based payment systems. They're quite expensive. They have a cost to them. I mean, we've got to pay an interest cost to run the equipment, but it's the only way we can do things these days. And also the websites and things like that we are doing ourselves now, and we have had help to do those, but ongoing, we're going to need more in terms of professional help, and we can see how that could work. So, I mean, I think what I'd ask you to consider is what we're looking at is a long-term thing. We need the funds. We want to be in a situation so that whatever you're able to give us, we can multiply that out. And it will make us be able to do the things like the Wellington Free Ambulance and some of those things on a annual basis rather than spread over 2 or 3 years.
Thank you, Alan and Dorothy. Does anyone have any questions? Bex?
Hi, thanks, Alan. Hi, Dorothy. On your last point, last time some of the money made from this went to Wellington Free?
No, well, it just went all into, yes, some of the money could have gone to Wellington Free Ambulance, but we didn't start off with a plan of having a fixed benefit at the end.
That's my question.
Yeah.
So the money goes back to Rotary and
Yes.
is applied wherever seen necessary?
Yeah.
It's not to support any one particular cause?
No, but we have got some ongoing commitments. I mean, the latest one is the renovation of the Kids Own Playground, which we established to start with, and I think that the partnership there is with the council looking for something like $500,000. I think you've got 1.5 million in the district plan and looking for community-based. But, I mean, there's plenty of things to spend it on.
No, I think that's good anyway, rather than every year trying to identify one thing.
Well, I mean, if you look at those lists there, I mean, just last night I was at a meeting and we provided $1,500, I think, per person for 2 students to go through to the National Science Fair in Auckland. Now, that's very prestigious. It's very hard to get into, and those are the sorts of things we like to do. But generally, we're doing things for the greater good. And the money, like, for instance, the projects we've done, the dog exercise thing at Henley Lake, at the top end of town with the cycle track for the young kids and what have you. There's plenty to spend it on.
Yeah, no, that's terrific. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen. And Gary?
Thanks, Ellen and Dorothy. So basically what you're saying to Bex is that the money that you earn from the Christmas fair and all these other things goes back to the Masterton community anyway.
It's a charitable trust. We've got to give it back to the community.
And Ellen, from the fair's point of view, you're looking at it as now it's an annual event.
Yes.
It's not that last year's wasn't a one-off or this year's a two-off. This is something that is going to be a...
Yeah, well, we believe so. I suppose to give the analogy of the corner dairy, if it's open all hours, it's fine. But if it decides to close on a Sunday afternoon, the tendency is then for people to, when they go there thinking it's going to be open, they don't find it's not open, they go somewhere else. So those are the sorts of things. I think we've got to be regular. The people that are coming in are primarily people from outside the area, from Wellington, Palmerston North, Hawke's Bay. And they are people that seem to be involved in, I don't know, probably half a dozen fairs a year. I mean, it's like a little business for them. And so they beaver away during the year to make the product which they sell, and then we've been very lucky that way, that we got a lot of help from the Martin Borough Fair with some of their list of people that participate in there to get them to come to our fair.
Thank you, Alan.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for your application and thanks for your presentation. So we'll be back in touch with you in the next couple of weeks just for the outcome of your application. And thank you both for your time.
Yeah, I did have a question, but it's fine. It's been answered, so we're all
Just a
good.
little bit late schedule. Thank you so much,
Okay,
guys.
thank you.
They can all go to that one first and then you're on the next day.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you both. And welcome to Murray Jones and Lisa Whiteman from the Morrisville Puketuranga Fair Association.
Yeah, competition. Nothing wrong with any competition.
And I'll go for the process. So it's a 10-minute presentation and it's 7 minutes to present and then 3 minutes for questions at the end. And the meeting's being live streamed on the Masterton District Council YouTube channel, and there'll be a bell going after 7 minutes just to let you heads up that your time's coming to an end.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And go for it.
So my name's Murray Jones. I'm the chair or the president of the Morrisville Country Fair, and Lisa Whiteman is our advertising media guru. It was interesting the previous presentation about the Rotary Fair, which is great. Ours is the day after. It's a bit like having two car yards across the road from each other. So if you're going to go to one, you might as well go to the other one. And that's where we're coming from. We've been here for 27 years, and the Morrisville Fair is a community project based on good crafts. We have good volunteers. We have, the problem we have at the moment is getting people to the fair. The train line from Marston to Newman has been closed for a couple of years because of the logging trains that we're going to go through. That's now closed. So we normally get the train from Paikokariki doing a full circuit round through Palmerston North Merritt back to us. 200 odd people. So we're missing out on those people. What we're trying to do now is create a structure so we can get people to our fair by some other means of transport. Buses are one thing. Our application is a feasibility study to get those people here. So, for example, we've been to Transit and got a quote on getting a bus from Marston or Martin Borough to the fair. Our own school bus has been volunteered, which will make a donation to create that structure. So basically that's where we're at. We need to get people to the fair. They arrive to our fair by car. That's another thing we have is parking. We get 700 cars into the domain, which equates to about 4 people per car, so that's about 3,000 people. So we have to increase that traffic flow and not the vehicles themselves, just the people. So what we're trying to do is put this event on It's a no small feat. It takes dedication, effort and generous support from across the wider Masterton area. So we've done a proposal up. Now the Morrisville Fair has not got the best print in the world, so we've left some for you people to have a read once we leave. The heart of the fair has always been giving back. Our mission is to raise funds to support local people and organisations who need a little extra help with financial needs. Over the past 2 decades, we've raised an incredible $20,000 plus to support the community that supports us. So, speaking of support, we've changed our constitution recently so we can give more money to Life Flight, the ambulance and other peoples within our community. The Morrisville community is not just Morrisville, it's everywhere. So people who want funding, we can help with that. We've helped the local children to go to specialised people to see about the problems and that sort of stuff. So it works very well. We continue to see the event grow from our current visitor count of 3,000 to many more. We can only achieve this with your help. The need we have, parking. The Morrisville Country Fair to grow, we need to investigate other options for people to go and get to the fair. Our parking is at capacity, and although we have an option to expand this slightly this year, we need to find other ways of bringing people to the fair. So once again about parking, we are going to donate some funds to the school so we can use the school paddock to fund. We are going to get another bus from the fair to the school to transport people to and from there. We've begun to approach local transport providers to run bus shuttle services from Masterton. We would like to investigate expand this across the Wellington, Manitou and Taurua districts. Doing this will not only bring more visitors but also hugely increase the marketing reach of our iconic event. We need council support for a feasibility study and implementation across a wide range of transport options. To reach our growth goal and really make an impact, we need to broaden our marketing reach to match the transportation plan. To make the event a great day out in Wairarapa, rural heartland accessibility is more people to need to be able to tell them about it and provide the transport to get there. So another part of telling people we're going to be here, we're going to want to spend a lot of money on advertising. Last year you gave us $3,000, which you spent $2,500 on advertising, and we increased our entertainment flow. So we've asked the local school bands to attend, the Rock and Roll Club attend, and plus we have another major band that arrives every year and has done for the last 15 years. To reach our growth goal and really make an impact, we need to broaden everything we do. The impact of the $5,000 we've asked for is to allow us to compete and fund a real-world transportation marketing feasibility study. Allows us to access our ability to grow the fair in a way that is sustainable into the future. We further cement the Morrisville Country Fair as Wairarapa's premium rural heartland entertainment event. Supports the MDC focus on tourism and bringing visitors to the region. Increases the income returned by the fair and in turn our ability to help those in our community. So getting back to community, that's what we do. We strive to put funds back into people who need it and get people into our region. Once again, if there was a fair the day before us and ours is next, that's fantastic as I think, because it's probably the same vendors that go to the Rotary Club fair, and I know that if some applied to come to our own fair, so which is great for both of us. The only comment I made is it's a shame, or we probably do, we don't have an actual calendar of fairs in the Wairarapa during the year. I know everyone knows the Martin Bar Fairs is on. I know everyone the Morrisville Fair is on. It would be great if there was a calendar so everyone knew within and outside the region that that's how we operate. That's probably all from me at the moment. Lisa, have you got anything to add?
Nothing to add. No.
Let's go.
It's fantastic.
I think thank you for the presentation. I think Destination Wairarapa would have that on their their schedule. So, Bex.
Hey, Murray.
Perfect.
Just a question. You know how you've got the quote from Transit for the
Yes.
buses to and from?
Yes.
Are you going ahead with that, or is that just...
We haven't decided. At this stage, no, we don't really have the funds to support that. That's why we're here. But if Transit were coming to the party, yes, we would. I think it was about...
It's about 3,000,
Yeah,
which I didn't think was a lot.
sure.
And I just wonder whether that might be a next step. bums on seats and all that?
Exactly. We've been offered our local school van to run, but we'd like Transit to do their own advertising and get them.
But even if somebody possibly sponsored that, because
Sure.
it's additional cost previously,
Sure.
but that seems to me like a really good way to alleviate the parking problem, but get more people out there, and it's so convenient.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Okay, so that's just sitting there at the moment?
It is, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Gary?
Okay, great.
Gary?
Murray, this would be the biggest event at Clark's Domain.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
It's certainly.
But having said that, you guys have to prepare the domain, don't you? I mean, it's not just a matter of people turning up.
And that's another bone of contention. I know the Clark family bequeathed the domain to the council. It'll be great. At the moment, we have a little bit of a problem with the current leasee. Prior to that, the person's father, that place was pristine. The locals go in there now with their dogs for a run around. They have picnics in there, and we just need to tidy that up a bit. It's a big job at Domain, as you know. We've actually got some support from the council to repaint some of the buildings we have there, which we have a working bee this weekend if it doesn't rain. It's a great event, great area. It's probably the best amphitheatre within the Southern Hemisphere. If it's a bad day everywhere else, it's beautiful at Morrisville because the weather just goes straight across the top of those big trees. So, thank you.
I have a question that relates to you guys as well, so you can jump in a little bit. Do you ever think about, because it's kind of an amazing weekend of fairs, and they are quite different to each other in terms of where they're staged. Would you guys consider sort of getting, cross-pollinating the committees and working out how it could work best or optimise it for both fairs? So I'll leave that with you, Murray.
That's a great thought. I'll give that some serious thought. Yeah.
Sorry about the cross-pollination.
No, that's I understand. I understand. It's our problem is our area. Years ago we could use every bit of the area of the domain, but with the growth and trees and that sort of stuff. In fact, I've got a meeting on Friday with Nathaniel over the things we can do to increase that area, albeit small. You've only got to move the stalls in, which we're going to do another 4 metres. There's another 30 cars we can get in. What that does is push everything back a bit. We have to reduce the amount of hot rods that arrive or the vintage cars that arrive. We certainly won't stop having the vintage machinery, but those sort of things. This year we're going to instigate a tug of war, and every school that contributes will have a donation to the school, Wainuiuru School and that sort of stuff. So they'll bring their vans in with their people, hence we'll reduce the parking as well. So, great.
Thank you. Any more questions, anyone? Well done, you had the before lunch gig, so not an easy one. So thank you for your presentation and for your time.
Thank you.
And so we'll be in touch in the next couple of weeks with the outcome of the application.
We'll leave these.
Thank you.
Yep.
Please. Adjourn until I think we're down for coming back at 1:20. Thanks everyone.